everybody. Good afternoon, magandang hapon. Sa lahat ng nanonood, welcome to the book launch of The Doctor is in Love. It is the latest romance class anthology and also the first medical anthology from romance class. So we're going to be talking about the book today with our authors. But first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Rejas. I am not Mina Guerra. I will be taking over the hosting of this program today. But yeah, we'll be having fun with our authors, Angeli Dumatol, Celestine Trinidad, E.K. Gonzales, and Suzette de Borja. Hi guys, good afternoon. Hi. So
Hi.
so please introduce yourselves and let us know what your story in the anthology is about. Let's start with Angeli.
Okay, so hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angeli E. Dumatol. I am a doctor and writer. So in the medical world, I'm actually a nuclear medicine physician in training. So about NUCMED, it's an imaging specialty. So we deal with PET scans, bone scans, those kind of things. Specialty imaging using radiopharmaceuticals. It's not so common specialty. So I wonder if you guys have heard about that. Anyway, so for The Doctor is in Love, I wrote a story called First Cut. So it's about two newly minted doctors, so fresh from the medical board, Sage and Rainier. Um, they're both applying for the same neurosurgery residency at the Gianna University Hospital. And unfortunately for them, there is only one residency slot. So only one of them will be accepted into the program. And well, a lot of things happen during pre-residency. And after a while, the two of them soon realized that maybe the residencies isn't the only thing they want anymore. They also want each other. Wink, wink. Okay, so that's it for my story.
That's nice.
Wink, wink.
So this is a spin on that. There's only one bed.
Yes,
That's broke.
there is only one residency slot.
Cool. Okay. So next, let's hear from Celestine.
Hello, everyone. So I am Celestine Trinidad. I am an anatomic and clinical pathologist. So pathologists we're the ones who work in the laboratory, so you don't see us a lot because we're hidden inside the laboratory, and we're the ones who read biopsies, do autopsies, that kind of stuff. So for the anthology, I wrote the story entitled Finally Home. So this is about a medical oncologist, Mayumi, and Joaquin, who is a radiation oncologist, who were co-fellows back during her fellowship back in the US. But she left him to go back home to the Philippines. So they meet again 2 years later when they're both invited as speakers in an out-of-town medical conference in the Santa Gianna University Hospital. So it's a second chance romance because when they meet again, they're at first really awkward with each other, but then they realize that they still have feelings for each other. So will they get another chance at love? And that's it for my story, and thank you very much everyone for buying our anthology.
Thank you so much, Celestine. So now let's move on to EK. EK, who is on duty today.
Is on duty.
Joining us.
Hello. Ayan. Well, people are gone. So, hi, I'm Miki Gonzales, and my story for this anthology is The Days of Rain and Flowers, which is literally there is only one bed story. Two residents attending the same medical convention, but one of them lost their bed hotel room slot, and they got adopted by the crush of their life. Yan po. So yeah, that's and hopefully they get together.
Yeah. Okay. Yes,
And
of course we should
ano,
get together.
ayan na siya.
Romance.
Okay. And yes, I'm on duty, but ano, pretty much pandemic call center agent. Ayun.
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
doing at the moment. Ayan, so chill lang. And please hope
Okay.
it stays chill so I can answer questions. Thanks.
Fingers crossed.
Benign,
Yes.
benign, benign, benign.
Ice cream dapat.
Okay, last but not least, the chair. The chair of Santa Gianna University. um, Suzette de Borja. Hi, can you tell us about yourself and your story?
Hi, I'm Suzette. So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm a dermatologist by training, though I haven't been practicing for several years now. So, it's actually uh, nostalgic na ba to, to write about doctors. Anyway, my story is status in a fake relationship. And as the title says, it's about fake fake relationship, fake dating between an OBGYN, Gia, and her best friend and her co-doctor, Dominic, who is a pediatrician. So Dominic was recently in a breakup, and Gia hears that the ex is back in town and is also attending the same medical conference that Dominic will be attending. So she feels that she has to protect Dominic and she has to go also to the conference. And so there is conference shenanigans and and it is heat level 3, by the way. So there. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for that information, Suzette. That is very necessary. Ayun. Okay. So EK is what happened to EK? She's still here. Okay, she's still here.
Working. Working.
Yeah, I think she's
She's
working.
working.
Okay. So before anything else, we would like to invite everybody in the chat to please like the stream while you're watching it. We like attention and love like that. So yes, please like the stream, and if you're not subscribed yet to our channel, please subscribe to um, youtube.com/romance class. If you are watching on Facebook, please also like our page. And if you're watching on Twitter, please follow our account, twitter.com/romanceclassbks. BKS, hindi BTS, okay? Okay,
Pwede rin.
okay. So let's go on. Let's move on with the questions, pala. So we have preset questions for the authors here, and people in the chat, if you have questions for the authors as well, you can leave them in the comments, and we'll get to them later after these preset questions.
Parang
Okay,
may
let's start.
questions na. Oh, well.
Oh, may nakita na ako kanina
Okay.
eh. Okay, let's do this first question. Ayan. So, planning-wise, tell us how you put this anthology together and what you wanted to put in the book, and then what kind of research do you have to do. So, anybody can answer first. Basta just raise your hand or whatever. Hindi na kailangan mag-alphabetical order.
So, shall I, as training officer of this department, I will. So, we were talking to Tara a while ago that it was so long ago. Kasi, we started planning this anthology in the before times in 2018. So I think it started out as a kind of just an offhand comment from somebody. Kasi I know when Angeli and I met in April Feels Day 2018, parang somebody said na, you're both doctors, so hospital series na yan. Sige. Then, ano, and then we both had also another cover shoot together. And during that cover shoot, for one of our models then was a doctor, Dr. Biel Faundo, who's also one of the cover models for this current anthology. And so there was a catalog. They were taking pictures for the catalog, and parang one of them kasi parang ang scenario sabi parang mukhang doctor and event planner. So so we had that idea to really make this anthology kasi why not? We were both doctors, so we know the life. So we can write stories about it. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if it were actual doctors also writing stories about doctors? So yun, hindi ko na kasi matandaan how this came about, but I invited Suzette and EK as well. Kasi Suzette wrote a story in Make My Wish Come True that also featured a doctor. So we wanted more of that. and EK hasn't written a story yet before for romance class. So, but we also wanted her to write a story. And there, would anyone like to add more to that? How we came about with Angeli?
Naisip ko paano mag-add din.
Ayun.
But that was
Okay, so,
basically, that
oh,
was
and
basically the gist of it.
the hashtag RXLandian was coined by our department chair,
I
Suzette.
think. I'm not sure.
Parang feeling ko ikaw naman talaga.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't me.
I have the mukha ba, the capability to coin that hashtag. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
forgot who made it, pero ever since yun na yung parang secret title of this project, di ba?
yes.
Way back 2018.
Yeah. And yeah, so we started planning. Actually, when I was looking back at our staff notes, parang we meant to release this in 2019, but then our deadlines started getting pushed back, and then the pandemic
Pandemic
happened.
happened.
Uh, so this was literally years in the making. This anthology. So, yeah.
Kasalanan ba ni Suzette? Probably.
Yung
Suzette,
yeah.
sagot.
And that was it. We also, so about what we wanted in the anthology. So aside from it being generally a medical romance written by doctors about doctors, from the very first meeting, we decided that we did not want any problematic relationships. So that was one of the number one rules for the anthology. So problematic relationships, I think we covered that a bit in the foreword, because as doctors, we do see quite a lot of problematic relationships in our field, and that's why actually, I mean, personally for me, when I read medical romances that I know are not written by doctors, I feel triggered sometimes when I see certain depictions of these problematic relationships, which I know, which some authors may not be aware of how relevant these are. For example, yung a bully resident who's the love interest. I just cannot seem to forgive these people and think of them as love interests, and as love interests. So so that was why we put that as the rule, because we wanted to depict a better world for doctors. Did anyone like to add to that? Then
Yes. Does anyone want to add to what Celestine said? Or you can also tell us, how what kind of research you had to do for like specific things in your stories, ganyan, like conventions or whatever. I don't know. Baka may fun stories kayo about your research or the things that you found out while you were writing it.
What's that? I think the name of the hospital. So so we were trying to come up with a name for the hospital, and then I don't know bakit napunta sa names ng mga, I don't know, saints. So we researched, and then we found out that there was a female Catholic saint who
Who
was
is
a
a pediatrician?
pediatrician. So her name is Santa Gianna, and she's an Italian saint. So from there, also, I like to do the background research. So I found out that she came from the town of Magenta, so Magenta, Italy. So that became our color, the hospital color. So magenta, kasi we were also trying to come up with a logo, and we were thinking na, this color is already taken by this hospital. This color is already being used. So, and then we found out that she was from Magenta, and there's a backstory about a battle there, about soldiers wearing a magenta uniform. That's why it was named Magenta Italy. So so that's where the color logo, the colors of the hospital came from. Yon. And then what else? And then the back history, ano ba? Na it was founded by a doctor we patterned after Dr. Fidel Mundo during the Second World War. So it started out as a school, and then it became like the school was used parang during the war, Second World War, to treat soldiers, and from then on, yon, it became a hospital na.
Can you tell us the story behind the crest? Did you have that made? I can see the
Yes.
crest on your shirt kasi. Can you show
Yes.
the shirts pala? Kasi, yan. Diba, naka-uniform sila eh. Naka-uniform sila today. So, you have that made. Did somebody, like an artist, created that?
Yes. Doc
It's
Suzette's brother.
My brother is a graphic artist, so I think we came up first with the motto, the sanare, amare, servire. So to heal, to love, to serve. And then from there, I gave my brother parang pegs na like sanare, the hands, ano ba? And then of course there has to be a heart. There has to be a heart. So amare is in the middle. Kasi syempre, romance, di ba? And then servire, I think something to represent people that you are serving. So and then yon, he made several pegs, and then we chose the final logo, the image.
Nice. Thank you for that backstory. Sobrang interesting. And the people in the comments are also saying, ang ganda ng world building, and then may history, may backstory. It's very interesting. Talagang pinag-isipan. Pinagandaan. Kasi kaya naman pala years in the making. Kasi nag-history lesson muna kayo. Ayan. Okay. So, anybody else have any stories about research and stuff? EK is here again. EK is back na. Hi, EK. EK, do you have a story about your the research that you had to do for the book, for the story that you
Yeah.
created, that you wrote?
Yeah. Well, nakwento na ni Celestine yung no problematic relationships from the very beginning. Yeah. Tsaka, book launch siya yung when yung nag-department meeting, first department meeting. Tapos
Yeah.
there were one or two others pa na when we say department meeting, that's what we call it. Pero we met together and ate food while meeting. It was awesome. Yeah. Pero we call it department meetings kasi in medical world, that's people meeting together usually with food that we didn't pay for. so so ayun.
Ayun, oo nga, to...
Okay.
Sige.
Sige, Celestine. Go ahead.
Uh, Yun, I was so, that's what we were referring to a while ago. Kasi, I know, parang we're a department, supposedly. So, the Department of Kilig of the Santa Gianna University Hospital. So, our chairman is Suzette. I am the training officer. Then, EK is our junior consultant, and Angeli is our uh, chief resident. So, yun, parang, ano, may
We have
structure
roles.
talaga yung
We have an
department.
org chart.
Meron pala talaga. Meron pala
With
talaga. That's so nice.
yes.
Okay, next question. Um, about the writing. So how much time do you actually have to write and revise? So how did you get it done? I guess the question is parang during the time that you were writing, how much time did you really have to write in between, working your day jobs, ganyan?
Uh,
Anybody can answer. You can just raise your hand and answer, or just go ahead and answer.
see, I can go first. Okay. See. Okay. So while I was writing the first draft of first cut, I was actually in pre-residency myself during that time. So I actually already knew that I wanted to write about that specific time period. At for those who already read the story, I think lumabas naman all my frustrations and heartaches during that time period of pre-residency. It's no joke. Anyway, ayun. So I would write when I'm not working. Actually, ganun naman ata usually when you're a doctor writer. You write when you're not working. So weekends or the time when you're off duty as a change of pace or like a way of de-stressing or detoxing as we call it in med lingo. Um, revise, same thing. Revise when you can, when you get the time, and hindi ko alam, basta may time. Find the time to work on it when you're not working.
Thank you,
Sige.
Angeli. Does anybody else have an answer to that?
Sige, ako, I can go next. Ano, yun
Okay,
nga,
Doc Leslie.
when this question was was given to us before, so I go, huh, meron nga ba tayong time? Paano nga ba natin natapos lahat to? And sometimes I think about it. And yun nga, like Angeli too, we write during the times when your duty is calmer. I was writing in the lab sometimes, and medyo ano lang parang I do it sa may corner ng lab para pag may dumaan pa hindi hindi ako mahihiya. What are you writing? Oh, a romance story. I know, at heat level 0 writer naman ako, kaya okay lang. And yeah, so you and that actually has an effect also on our stories. When you tend to write in between work, you tend to put some of your work into the story. Kaya I know a lot of what I wrote also in my story, just like Angeli, is also based a lot on what I see at work. So as you will see, and yun. And as for revising, uh, that was what we spent quite some time on yung revising. Then kasi first we go to beta readers and then to the editors, and because we really wanted to make sure that these stories would be in the best form that we can that we can give them to you guys. Pero ganun pa rin, laging in between pa rin. Sometimes I write in the middle of the night, madaling araw, right before a conference, ganyan. Because but because it's fun work, so and that's fun. That's fine with me to spend more time on things that I actually like doing.
Thank you, Doc Leslie. Okay, anybody else have an answer? Or shall we move on to the next question? Okay. Okay, this is the last of the preset questions. So let's talk about the cover. 'Cause I think naman everybody who has, I mean everybody in the community, in the romance class community, has seen the cover. It's very beautiful. We have actual doctors in the cover, right? So can anyone tell us a story about who the cover models are, how you got them to say yes, and what happened during the photo shoot? Anybody?
What happened during the photo shoot shall remain in the photo doc. Joke lang. Daming ganap sa photo shoot.
Ano bang nangyari? Bakit ganun?
Maraming maraming pictures na hindi pa namin na-release. So,
There are unreleased photos.
uh,
Okay.
yes.
Paano nga,
Sige.
when we were planning the cover, I think parang we were discussing na it would be a very good idea to feature also actual doctors. So we were comparing the other covers of other medical romance books, and ano bang masasabi natin tungkol sa mga covers?
I think ang una nating comment palagi was,
They were-
unsterile na sila sa OR. Mga ganyan.
Parang they don't have clothes. Or like only the coat. No, nothing.
Only the
Only the
stethoscope.
Only the stethoscope. Tapos I think may comment pa na, tapos hindi pa mamahaling stet, hindi man lang litman.
Yeah,
So,
and then parang it was very obvious that they were parang representative talaga of the characters they were trying to portray. That was our take home. So parang we were thinking it would be a really good idea to feature actual doctors from the field in the cover. So that's what we did. We tried finding doctor models.
and also we wanted to kind of retain the professional the professionalism and kasi because we wanted to show that you can still retain the professionalism in the covers, and yet it will still be kilig. So that was also, I think we also mentioned that in the forward that yeah, so that was also why when we wanted to represent actual doctors, that kasi nga we to represent how we are, and parang nakilig pa rin talaga kahit na ayan. So yeah.
I think we can answer the question.
I have the same question as Karin. How did you ask the models? Did you know them personally, or are they friends of friends?
Okay.
Kasi doctors
Sige.
din, diba? So,
Yeah.
did you work with
Okay.
them or something?
Sige,
Sige,
isa-isahin natin sila. Sige.
Yeah, ABCD ganyan. Para in order. Sige.
ABCD.
I wonder if so, we invited some of them, so I wonder if they're watching. So anyway, so let's start with the first cover model.
No.
Was it blackmail? No. I'll get in trouble. I don't know. So let's start with our first model. So our one of our models is Alec Dungo. Yes. So siya yung nasa lower right of the cover. Yan si Alec. So Alec actually used to be, so I teach in medical school. He used to be my student, former student, but at the time I didn't actually know that he was also part of PBB teens. So anyway, when we were talking about the cover models, and then it started out as a joke na, si Alec kaya ganyan kunin natin yan. And then one of the readers of romance class, si Mika Manalastas, thank you for your help by the way. Kasi co-intern niya si Alec, and sabi niya, then why not do? Kunin niya siya as cover model. So they got connected sa social media, and I asked him if he was interested, and then he was and he said yes for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Next we have
Next,
Biel Faundo.
Okay, Biel. So Biel might be familiar to some of you guys who've read my other book. Somebody looks familiar. Yeah. uh, she was also in the cover of Heartstruck. And Biel is actually my co-intern back in medical school. So ayan, we're good friends. So it was quite easy to ask her to come work for us or work with us again and for this project.
And
Even
also,
though I'm quite a challenge for this time around, unlike the shoot for Heartstock, because um, Biel actually moved overseas. So even while she was in New Zealand, we were able to do the cover shoot thanks to the power of technology.
And also, may I share that interesting tidbit about yung coincidence between the characters
Yeah.
and Biel? Ayan, so actually, yun, si Biel then, she was supposed to be on the cover of one of my books, so I knew of her. And the character in my story, si Mayumi, parang, and the backstory niya kasi she also used to be a model. She so parang sa pageant she joined the ano yung Binibining Pilipinas Miss Universe na pageant. And when I mentioned that to Angeli, sabi ni Angeli, you know that's Biel. because kasi si
Yes.
Biel also joined yung
She,
Mutya ng Pilipinas, di
yeah,
ba?
Mutya. Yeah.
And so, parang, oh wow, that's cool. So kaya siya rin yung naging, siya rin si Mayumi for the cover. And then, letter C, let's go to Carlo.
Carlo, thank you. We would like to thank Doctora Dumatol, the mom, the mom of Angeli, for
Hi,
getting
mom.
Carlo to say yes. Hi, Doctora. For getting
She's
Carlo to
watching.
say yes to the cover. And it's also a coincidence ba that Carlo also, it's a his training is also pediatrics. So former,
Former,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Carlo, and thank you, Dr. Dumatol.
And lastly, we have Diane. Ike, would you like to tell that story or I would? Or I would? Sige.
Ikaw
So,
na.
ako din kasi yung contact for Dian. Dian is, so, yun, we wanted a last model kasi na female din for Ike's character, si Tony. And I was talking to a friend and she suggested Dian. Dian kasi is her sis. Ano rin siya, she also does modeling, may pageants din sa in school. So and then and yeah, and we got her. So and she also said yes. There. So along the way actually meron pa kami actually ibang mga ano rin eh. Yung along the way there were yung mga hindi natuloy na other cover models, mga na scene zone kami ganyan. So I I had to say that. Sorry. And but then, it's we're really happy that finally we had four cover models. And all of this nga pala were virtual photo shoots.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, Leila has a question here. Actually, I'm also curious about what happened. Kasi you were shooting these photos, 2020, no? Mid 2020. So, um, we're we were on lockdown. So, how did you manage that? Like, do you have interesting stories about those photo shoots? Alam ko apat 'yun na magkakahiwalay, 'di ba? Yeah,
Yes.
oo, kasi hindi ka pwedeng magkasama yung mga tao. So, yeah, do you have any interesting stories about those photo shoots?
Ako, I had, I guess because my character is a pediatrician, so I wanted my character to have the props for the shoot. So I had to borrow my daughter's plushies, and then sa and then I had to send it. I had to send it to the model. So yeah, that's my interesting tidbit naman.
Flashes
And
lang ba yung
he
props?
yeah, meron pa the giant lollipop which I had to order online. And and our model naman, Carlo was very game enough to pose with the props. And I think because parang I think also with the shoot because they're doctors, it's easier in a way to give them directions ba for the pose or parang yeah for like and and it's and the directions are kind of very specific to to the
The
profession.
medical world, yeah.
Yes, like iba yung ngiti nila pag sinabi mo na oh madi-discharge na yung ngiting madi-discharge na yung patient or ngiting benign yung biopsy. I mean, those are the things that make us happy when we hear them like yun. So yeah.
Wait lang, you mentioned a lollipop, but I don't see a lollipop anywhere on the cover. Where can we see that?
Yung mga
Abangan.
unreleased photos na.
Meron ba yan sa
Abangan.
paperback? Meron ba yan sa paperback? Baka naman may bonus kayo dyan. Bonus photo card?
Abangan. Yun na lang. Ganun na lang.
Okay, so dapat mag-pre-order sila, no? Dapat
Please
mag-pre-order sila
pre-order.
ng book, ng paperback. Okay, anyone else have an interesting story about the
Uh,
photo shoot?
Aba. Something interesting din about yung doing the photo shoot is we had the models do parang patient point of view poses. You might have seen those photos in the ano ba, yung
Pick
medical
up
hugot pickup line pubs.
lines.
Yeah. So we asked the models to act as if they were examining a particular patient in the specialty that their characters were in. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting to do.
Medyo iba yung attack. when they do that. Yeah. Ano pa ba?
Okay.
And
So, meron pa ba? Ayan.
I guess we have to mention BL then. Kasi nga, as Angeli mentioned a while ago, she's not currently based in the Philippines. So, what is interesting about these virtual photo shoots is that, we can do the shoots even when the person is not in is out of the country. So, uh, she's currently based in another country, and so na-factor in din yung time difference, yung but she's in a place
Lighting.
na maganda. So yung lighting niya kasi parang kailangan a certain time of day sa kanila maaga pa sa atin. So so we had to adjust for that then. And also yung internet connectivity. Pero she was in a place na maganda yung internet nila of course. So yan. So kami yung mag-a-adjust in that. Tapos, two of our other models actually from the province naman. They were shooting from the province then. So, that was also a factor kasi sometimes internet daw could be unreliable. So, yun. But that was interesting that we were not in the same place. But, and yet, parang nandun pa rin yung kilig. Doing the photo shoots as if we were still there. Yeah.
The kilig transcends the screen.
Yes. That's true.
Ayan. Okay, so if there's no one else answering this question, we'll move on to the questions in the comments. Okay. Just a reminder, all links to buy the book and the paperback are in the description of this video. So if you're watching right now, you're watching the live stream right now, you can just check the description and then find the links there. And hopefully, please buy the book. Pre-order na kayo ng paperback kasi may photo cards daw. Charot! biglang, biglang ako yung nagbenta.
Kasi random pool
Ayan.
pa yun, di ba? Pag gano'n.
Random
Random
po.
pool, correct. So you have to collect all four. Tapos every doctor pa has like 2 or 3 photo cards. Gotta catch them all, ganyan. Okay, so let's move on to the questions in the chat. Let me just scroll up. Okay, so Kat Villoso says, are there real life inspirations for the LI? So if anyone has an answer for this, just go ahead.
I think Doc Leslie has an answer for this.
May
Nilaglag mo, di
naglag.
ba?
Nilaglag ka agad. Sorry. Love you,
Ang
Doc.
bilis.
Yes. But in terms of, I mean, we do base this, we do base a lot of our stories based on our own experiences. So, yeah, sometimes even the LI, I'll leave it at that. And, pero kung celebrity pegs, I mean, when I was writing, kasi finally home, so, the LI, Joaquin is European Spanish. So, I my research for that was watching a lot of European Spanish films on Netflix. So, ano, and who ang peg ko would be Yon Gonzales for for him. So, I'll leave it. I'm evading the question by by saying a celebrity peg.
Anyone else have an answer? No? Wala na? Okay na?
Ano ba? My LI doesn't really have a real life peg. He is someone I wish existed in real life when I was doing pre-residency.
Ah,
Bakit kasi what? Joke lang. Joke lang. Anyway, but my MC does have a real life inspiration. She's one of my very good friends doing her surgery residency right now. Hi. Yes, Sage is based on you. You know who you are. I asked permission.
that's nice. Okay, Suzette, do you have an answer for this?
Hmm? Is that me?
This is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an answer for this question?
Um, okay, maybe the consultants lang when I was training. Nothing naman na specific, but like the MC Gia. So I based it on several obstetricians, like when I was undergoing my internship. They were so the more established ones. So they had a lot of patients and they were like living already in the delivery room. Like they had 3 patients in labor, and then that was the question for me kasi they were so busy, so I wanted to write an obstetrician. And then for the pediatrician, yeah, when I was doing my internship naman, um in the department there was only one male pediatrician, and he was the chief resident. So I kind of based Dominic on that resident on that yeah, on that resident when I was going to my internship. Yon.
Okay, thank you. How about EK? Is EK still working?
Yes, it is working.
Ay, lalaglag ko rin si EK.
Ah, meron, yun lang.
Naglagan.
But EK, I think maybe you'd want to talk more about since your her EK story is a new story for for romance
La,
class, and
la,
and kind of the first
la.
for romance class. We talk about more about that. Your inspiration for writing it.
Ano ba? Well, Tony has an inspiration, yun lang. And I think obvious naman sa book ko. Not sure who is the basis for the other one. Na yun po. Pero yun. and then, pinaglabasan ng sama ng loob, no? Hindi, hindi naman. Hindi naman. Pero, Rain is not completely based on me. Pero yung some of our frustrations as in people like me, does come out in the story. Family medicine, as it is one of the nicer specializations about people who are different, people who are LGBTQIA. So when you go to our convention, there are people who look like me. There are who also, and conversely, those who also wear long hair. And it's okay. It's more than okay in our world. Dermatology sometimes is what is also like this, but there's a lot of departments, a lot of hospitals, and a lot of specializations that aren't as welcoming to queer people. So that being that kind of person, when you choose your residency, that's ano parang yung what you choose for your what you choose for residency is your future. So part of it depends on your principles din as a person, and it shows yun. So yun. So yun nga. So kaya some of that came out in Rain, and yan. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, EK. All right, so let's move on to another question here in the comments. This is from Leila. She asked, "How did you come up with the ideas for the individual stories?" So, yeah, anybody can answer first.
Uh,
Okay,
wish
EK.
fulfillment. Wish fulfillment siya. Wala lang. Eh,
A
things
fix
that
it chick
you
for
hope will
real
happen.
life.
Things that you hope will happen in real life, pero ay nako. Hanggang fic na lang. Yun.
Everything is fixed, it's fixed. Does anybody have like a specific answer for this other than, wish fulfillment and everything?
Wish fulfillment. Diba? Sige, like I mentioned earlier, diba? I was in pre-residency also when I was writing the first version of my story. So also wish fulfillment, pero wala. And ayun, ano ba? My residency also had one slot lang kasi. So parang hinugot ko na lang dun yung idea of there is only one residency slot. And then what if the two people vying for it caught feelings? What would happen then? Yeah, that was
Okay.
how it got conceptualized.
All right. Anyone else? So we move to the next
um,
one.
ako,
Okay. Talk less, please.
actually, si Mayumi, the MC for the story, is the older sister of another manuscript I was writing at the time. So for the flicker title, Hearts and Sciences. So, um, she appears in that manuscript. Tapos yun nga, when we came up with the idea of this anthology, parang sabi ko, okay, I can probably write a story about her kasi I like doing that. I like making yung I like making stories that are interconnected. So and then we wanted a medical romance. It's like, okay, I'll write about her. And at well, also drawing from experience at the time, as well, because I had just come back from fellowship at the time, so I had a lot of things to write, and about the state of healthcare in the Philippines, and about yeah. So that came out in the story, as some of you have probably already read it, and but I wanted it to have a happy ending instead of uh, um to hopefully to give more hope to people who are also to still stay here despite everything. So, and that's how yeah, that's how I came up with that idea. It really just started out as me wanting to write a story about Mayumi, and then it morphed to that because I realized that I had things to say and I say it better in fiction. So, yeah.
Thank you, Doc Leslie. Okay, we have another question here from Memory Tambakan. How much do the authors see themselves in their protagonists and how much in their villains? Ah, interesting.
Hirap naman.
Kilala ko
Hot
yata yung
muna.
nag-answer, nag-ask ng question na yan. Thank you for your support. Hi.
EK has an answer, I think.
Ayun.
Yes,
Like I
EK.
said, ayun. Yun nga. So, the protagonist is obviously wish fulfillment. And so, this is not the first character I made that is non-binary, but this is for romance class. This is the first person. So, yun. So, hopefully, this is hoping to see more people who are like me in books in general. Villain, there wasn't a villain naman unless you call losing losing a hotel room a villain. Yun, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, EK. Anyone else has an answer?
Villains. It's that's a really an interesting question kasi I don't know the villain in my story there's no real villain but the villain is the broken healthcare system I suppose and I know so we're all part of this system though because I think when we thinking about it when we let these things happen when you don't say anything about it that kind of makes you the villain because you enable the system being like that so yeah I guess and no I am not the MC and, I saw the comment I think I know this person no
May
I am not the MC
clarification.
I'm
Kailangan may
not the
clarification.
Okay, now may clarification. Kahit dun sa, when we were writing the stories, I could, no, Mayumi is not. So, I'm, but I guess a lot of us put ourselves into the stories then because, yeah, we write what we know. But we also, the villains actually are the villains in real life as well. So, yeah.
Okay, next up. Anyone else? Anyone else want to answer this? Okay na? Okay, we'll move.
Ano ba?
Angeli?
Sige,
Yes,
ang hirap
yes,
kasi
Doc,
nga,
answer.
ang hirap nga nung villain. Teka, if I would identify a villain in my story, it's, ano ba? Medyo spoilery eh. Medyo spoilery if I talk about it. Pero anyway, siguro how much do I see myself in the main character? Siguro I've been in their spot kasi when parang fresh out of medical school, you have to decide kasi which path you're gonna take, what kind of doctor you're going to be. So during that time, I also felt a great sense of parang what now? Parang I also felt lost during that time. No? Parang uh, I had to decide kasi nga once you choose, that's going to be what you're going to do for the rest of your life, like Doc EK mentioned earlier. So I guess that's one thing I kind of share with my characters. Villain wise, if if I would identify what's sort what a villain in my story, it's probably that also, that crippling sense of self-doubt and feeling of being lost that you don't that would parang bring you to question, am I really in the right path? Did I just waste 5 years, no, 9 years of my life training for this and then mali pala? Yun. So That's all. Thank you for that question. Very interesting.
Thank you, Angeli. Dr. Zet, do you have an answer to this question? No? Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Hirap eh.
this is this is from Denise. Denise says, I'm curious, who are
Ooh.
some of the sexiest fictional doctors for our author? Ayan. Interesting question. So, fictional doctors daw, like from TV, movies, or books. Can you name some of the sexiest doctors that you've encountered in media?
Pwede
Anybody can
hindi
answer, ha?
pwede hindi fictional.
Real life.
Grabe. I mean, if you're willing to share, Doc, I mean, if you're willing to share, we'll listen.
We would not say no, Dr.
Hindi, actually kasi I haven't been watching mga medical TV series because I don't know, I get triggered. So I wouldn't know anyone. I mean, a fictional, ano ba? Okay, I know now. One, Doctor Strange. It
Yes,
came to me.
Benedict.
Yes, because it's Benedict Cumberbatch, and then his also Doctor Strange, he's so ano ba yon, competence porn, like he knows he's the best. So I like that. He's very confident, and then I think I can identify I I can identify with Doctor Strange because there was a point, well, di ba he met an accident, and then that was like a paradigm shift for him. It was a turning point. And as a doctor, I went through something like that where I was on the other end. I was the patient. And yeah, so I like doc yon. So I think he's a fictional doctor na I like. Yon.
Thanks, Dr.
That's
Zed.
it.
How about the others? Do you have like favorite or the fictional doctors that you find sexy?
Nahirapan din ako sa question.
Okay.
Kasi like Dr. Z, parang I have to build up parang the willpower and also the energy to watch medical stuff on TV and also other art forms. Kasi nga, it hits too close to home. So parang, I'm trying to relax and then I'll be reminded of the toxicity I left behind sa hospital. So, no thank you most of the time is my answer. But, siguro hindi ko alam kung sexiest sis, pero some of the medical dramas I've enjoyed is Dr. Romantic na K-drama. Ayan, Dr. Romantic. And then a US drama called Heart of Dixie. I don't know if matagal na siya, pero I like that show kasi parang it showed na parang big time doctor siya sa hospital and then she gets thrown into the rural life as a parang general physician and then she kind of enjoys the change of pace it brings her. Yeah, so parang I like that show.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Angeli. Sino pa may sagot?
Yun nga eh, kasi, ayun nga, parang, I also don't watch a
Yes.
lot of, shows, kasi, yun nga, it is a bit triggering. It does. Pero I quickly searched for, medical doctors, and I have an answer. My answer is Hattori Soma sa Fruits Basket. Anime na,
Diet!
I love him, I'm sorry. And then,
Bakit may pa-fruits basket?
yeah, so parang siya yung he's the sexiest fictional doctor for me. And and who else? I think kasi anime talaga yung sagot. And there's also this pathologist character that in a J drama that I'm watching. I really like it. Fragile kasi pathologist kasi siya, so he's automatically sexy for me. Yan. Uh, so, yun lang.
Okay. Does EK have an answer to this?
Puro anime din eh. So,
Go lang, go.
si Blackjack po.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Of the current ones, I actually like the girls who are doctors. So, of the ones I do follow, I love Yasano. Ano ba pang first name ni? Akiko Yasano of Bogo Stray Dogs will um, forensic pathologist slash infirmary doctor slash Ken slash you with her very big hatchet. Ayan. So and then yes, I do love Blackjack of Osamu Tezuka from a long time ago. He's a surgeon of unusual cases. And kasi nga Osamu Tezuka, the the father of manga, is actually a doctor who did not practice. So a lot of his work has medical stuff in it. And one of the things that has the most medical stuff in it is Blackjack. And I only know the anime, not the manga. Pero yun, no, he when the thing is righteous, he works for free. When somebody's evil, ang laki ng bayad niya. Ang laki ng nire-request niyang PF. Pero he does the impossible things. And that's why he's my favorite doctor in media. Thank you.
Thank you, EK. Ayan, maraming natuwa doon sa mga anime na mga anime answers. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, we have one more question. People in the chat, if you still have more questions, just let us know. I'll just leave it in the chat and we'll get to them. We have one more here from Katrina Atienza. Medyo mahaba siya. Okay. So I enjoyed the description of hospital culture, yung hierarchy, the power dynamics. I also appreciated the introduction. Were you able to include all that you wanted about this topic in your stories? Yan. Okay, so thesis difference.
No,
But
there's a lot more. There's a lot more to say.
That's true. There's a lot more. Actually, kaya nga yata humaba yung stories namin because we had so much to say. I was looking at our old staff notes, parang dapat 7,500 to 10,000 words lang. And no, all our stories now are at least 10,000 words. And we weren't able to include all that we wanted. Actually, I was ano na lang pa-teaser na lang din. I was saying that maybe if we were also going to write more stories that or come up with another medical romance anthology, maybe we could write more about our specialties, like because we come from specialties that are not so very well known, as you may have seen from the introductions. NUCMED, pathology, dermatology. Dermatology is well known, but there are a lot of stereotypes in it, and family medicine. So I mean, I was thinking we weren't able to cover that. That there are some specialties that aren't as well known. So yeah, that we could include that in future books, maybe. If you still want us to write more stories.
Of course, why not? I was gonna say, when you said that you did not cover everything, I was gonna say, then you have to write another book.
Yes.
Ayan, Kat Deliosa is asking for a sequel. So, yeah. Does anyone else have an answer?
Ako on my part about yung Bianca mentioned something. Katrina mentioned something about yung hierarchy and power dynamics. On my point, it was a very conscious decision on my part not talaga to include stuff about yung mga power dynamics, and because as we mentioned earlier during the earlier part of this parang talk, we were imagining a better world kasi. So parang I wanted that for my characters na parang Kasi that kind of world is possible naman. So I did not want to perpetuate the ongoing power dynamics and hierarchy structure ongoing sa hospital when a better world could exist. So parang our stories kind of showed that it is possible, it can happen, and it's the kind of world that we deserve. So, ayan. No power tripping in our hospital.
That's nice. Thank you, Doc Angeli. Layla says, story about Trina Gunn for the sequel.
Ooh.
Actually, I just
Yes.
thought about that when I was getting ready for this podcast for this live stream. Let's see, and it's also my specialty. I mean, we have the same specialty, so maybe yeah, breaking stereotypes also for my specialty, derma.
Thank you, Dr. Z. Okay, we have another question. Yeah. Okay, what makes a romance story interesting enough for you to write about? And would you like an interesting romance story for yourself? May chismis bigla. May
Kanina pa siya
personal,
fishing. Doc Leslie, sa'yo ata talaga tong tanong.
may personal question. Okay, if anybody wants to answer, just go ahead.
And then, sige na nga ba, I think the question is, of course, I mean, we want, what is an interest, what is a romance story? What makes it interesting? I mean, I think all romance stories are interesting in themselves because you're imagining happy endings for people when sometimes in real life you don't have enough of these happy endings. So, it's already interesting enough. How envisioning a world where these happy endings are possible and you have people who deserve these happy endings. And of course, and yes, of course, I would like an interesting romance story for ourselves. Sino bang hindi? Sino bang, who wouldn't want a nice Heya for themselves? So yeah, yes.
Thanks, Doc Leslie. I mean, di ba? It's, oo. Yun lang yung sagot. Yes. Yes, with no reservations. Ay, hindi.
MC
Who else?
yourself, ganyan.
Yes, di ba? MC yourself. Bakit hindi? We want, we want happy endings for everybody. Yes. Pero, pag wala pa, sa ano muna, sa papel muna. Mina is here. Hi, Mina.
I mean,
Okay. Anyone else have an answer to what makes a romance story interesting enough for you to write about?
sige.
CK, does CK have an answer? No? Is that okay? I thought she was raising her hand. She was waving. Ayan. Okay. So, yeah, I think that was the last question. Let me just scroll up. I think I missed something. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, that was the last question. So, ako may question. Since you, alam ko kaka-release lang ng book, but are you working on something new now? Even if it's not related to, even if it's not related to this universe of, the Santa Gianna Hospital universe. Are you working on something now, and can you tell us a little more about it? Parang, ano lang, parang teaser lang. Kung sino lang yung may sagot, hindi naman kailangan i-reveal kung hindi pa kayo ready.
For me, I'm at that research stage where the possibilities are endless and exciting until you have to write it.
Yes, that is true.
So yeah, I'm at that stage na it's so fun because I'm researching. So um I don't know yet where it will go, but yeah, I'm at that research stage. So actually I have two things I want to write. So I don't know which one will lead me down the rabbit hole. So if it leads me down the rabbit hole, maybe that's the one I should write first. Mm.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Zed. So, as an answer. Wala, pahinga
Uh,
muna.
Hindi,
Sige.
ako.
Sige.
Sige. So, uh, yeah, so yeah, I mentioned nga na that Mayumi is the sister of the MC for the Flickr book, which Hearts and Sciences. So I'm working on that. We just had the cover shoot last last week actually. So yeah, so working on editing. Hi Chris. So, and the work. So yeah, I'm focusing on that. But there are other stories that I'm there. There's other stories that I'm working on, but not romance this time. Going back to spec fic again. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Doc Leslie. Angeli,
Uh,
do you have anything?
okay, I am currently still working on my YA P-pop romance book. So, please watch out for it. Pero, the struggle for me is that kasi research turns to full-blown fangirling. So, nadi-distract ako pag nagre-research ako. Anyway, so ayun, abangan na lang. I kind of teased about it already here in my story in The Doctor is in Love. If you read the
Mm,
epilogue, may hints na doon somewhere.
cool, cool. Okay, do you have, are you working on something new after the Doctor is in Love?
I'm mostly doing a lot of reading because of work. Pero hopefully there's in the pipeline something that in the specific kind of story that is YA and another non-binary queer character. I'm consistent. Yan. Pero ayun, semi-fantasy has steampunk pero it keeps staying in my head. It doesn't want to get doesn't want to get typed yet. Pero ayun, I hope it happens. Yan. Thank you.
Thank you, EK. And we have a question for Mina. So she says, wondering what was the reaction of the doctors in your lives to this Anto, and is anyone realizing they want to write romance pala? Oh,
Isa lang ang doktor na nakakaalam, yung kaibigan namin ni Leslie. Otherwise, never mind.
Oo nga, no? Yeah, yeah, since you mentioned our friend, yes, yung friend namin ni Ike, yun, her reaction to it was, I think at least so far, yung the doctors in our lives that have read the book, they can relate to a lot of the things that we put there. I know, and it was that was really nice seeing that it was relatable for people, and I think our friend is also realizing that she wants to write romance. Wink, wink. I think she's applying for the SGUH Department of Killing. So yes.
oh, Cat says Rick Acosta. Of course.
Oh, oh. Who is this person?
Who's this person? Okay, does anyone else have an answer to Mina's question? Or hindi niyo pinaalam sa mga doctors in your life about this act?
Yeah, they you know, a lot of them will read the print book though, I think. Parang
Hmm.
many more are would prefer the print book. I think kaya hindi pa masyadong nakakabasa the,
I
the doctors in our lives.
Yeah, same.
Okay. I have another question, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot for this because we're currently in romance class. We're talking about adaptations and stuff like that, ganyan. So if somebody were to adapt the book into a movie or a series, do you have people in mind to act as the characters that you've written, Filipino man or hindi? Do you have pegs? Can we be let in on who your pegs were when you were writing these characters?
And nabanggit ko na yung mine for LI, si Yon Gonzales. I think you appeared in, what movie was that? Offshore? I forgot the title. Yun, siya yung pinaka-LI peg ko. For MC peg, I don't have a peg I'll think about it. Maybe si Biel. Kasi
Doc Angeli, how about you?
Ako rin, parang no one really comes into mind. Kasi nga, I mentioned that Sage was actually based on a real person. Pero alam mo, nung after ng launch, Alec, no? Sige, ikaw na lang talaga si Rain.
I mean, if you're watching this, Alec, I mean, they have
Hi,
acting
Alec.
experience. Why
Yeah.
not?
May acting
Biglang,
experience. Why not?
biglang may pa-shoutout, hi. Doc Suzette.
Wala. No pigs din. I know. I can't think of any actually. So feel if they want to suggest someone, no. But right now I can't think of anyone.
Okay. Sige. Yes. Tanya says, ano daw, free copy of the book with each consultation. It's parang pwedeng marketing. But, ano tawag dito? Parang, mahal, no? Mahal kasi ang papel. Ayan. Okay, so, hang on. Let me check if you're still having, if people are still asking questions. I think that was the last one. Yeah. Ayun. So, ayan. Thank you everybody for, I think we're at time. We are at 1 hour and 17 minutes. Oy, in fairness ha. Muntik na tayo maka 1 hour and 30 minutes. Ano. Um, Thank you everybody for joining us here this afternoon for the book launch of The Doctor Is in Love. And if you want to check out the book and buy a copy, you can see the link that's in the description of this video. And also, hang on, let me just post that in the chat as well, so you can see it and just um yeah. So it's easier for you to click on the link and buy the book. Yeah. So and also, so you can see the first link that's on the chat is for ebook. Is that correct? Tama ba ako?
Yes.
For ebook
Yes.
copies, no? So these are the bookstoread.com/doctorinlove is for the ebook version of the book in various platforms. So Amazon, Overdrive, Scribd,
Yeah, Apple,
in
Barnes& and Noble,
yeah,
yeah. All the rest. All your
Google.
favorite digital bookstores.
Yes, wherever fine books are sold. Yan. And then also the second link is for paperback naman, but for Philippine residents only. But I think you mentioned earlier that paperback is also available on KDP now.
Yes. Yes.
Yan. Okay. So
So
if
if
you're living overseas, you can also buy the a paperback copy from there. Yeah. So congratulations, authors Angeli, Celestine, EK, Suzette. Congratulations for
Thank you.
thank you.
writing, releasing this book. it's it's such an interesting book. It's sa first medical anthology na romance class. So very exciting siya, di ba? So can I ask for a final message from any of you guys about about this book, inviting everybody to buy and read and review, and anyone can start.
Yeah. Ano?
Department chair.
Closing remarks from our
Closing
doctor.
remarks.
Closing remarks.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. And to those who've read and bought the book, thank you very much. And if you haven't, please you can there are lots of platforms where you can avail of the book, and we're also we've come out with an order form for the print copy, so I hope you can support the Doctor is in Love. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
also for
Dr.
joining
Ted.
us today,
Thank you.
Yes.
everyone. Thank you for your questions.
All right. So that's it for this book launch. I hope everybody can grab a copy of the book. If you're watching this stream in another day, I hope you can check out the links and buy the book, review it, read it, review it, and share it to everybody. Thank you everybody for joining us. Goodbye. Happy weekend.